A wave of silence rolled through the Empire's war rooms. 3 elite agents, gone. No sound, no signal, no trace. This wasn't just power. This was something else, something older, something that knew how the Empire worked and how to break it without ever being seen. The Emperor stood before his generals in a darkened chamber. His voice shook, not with fear, but with frustration. They want fear? Then they'll have war. Real war. The Empire prepared its biggest fleet yet. 40. Warships, dreadnoughts, and thousands of fighters. Their goal, not to test Earth, but to conquer it. Once and for all. The plan was simple. Strike fast, strike hard. No more warnings, no more spying, no more mystery. And so, the third invasion began. The fleet jumped to Earth's system, exiting hyperspace just outside the solar edge. There were no human ships waiting, no planetary defense, no resistance, just silence, again. And then, a signal, but not from Earth, from one of the Empire's own ships. Inside the dreadnought Ember Fang, the crew stared at their screens in disbelief. A message had appeared on every panel, every language, every screen, every system, even the captain's neural implant. You were warned. The lights dimmed, engines shut down, weapons froze. Across the entire fleet, systems went dark. Not destroyed, controlled. The officers panicked. "We've been hacked!" But no one could locate the source. Then the stars began to vanish. One by one, giant shadows passed across the fleet's sensors. The shadows didn't show heat, didn't show propulsion, they didn't even reflect light. Unknown objects, big as cities, they moved between the ships, silent and unseen, until they wanted to be seen, and when they did, the Empire finally understood. These were not ships. These were guardians, Earth's protectors, not human, not alien, something else, built to stay hidden, built to end wars before they began. One of the shadows sent a pulse through space, a signal, so strong it cracked the shields of the dreadnoughts like glass. Fighters exploded in silence. Power cores melted. The Empire tried to run. Only 2 ships made it to the edge of the system. One was pulled back. The other escaped, barely, and it carried a single message, burned into its hull by an energy no species could understand. The final warning was given. Earth is not yours. The ship drifted for weeks before it was found. The crew, alive but silent, staring, eyes wide, speaking only one word, guardians. Across the galaxy, civilizations that once laughed at Earth now shut their borders, turned off their radars, and erased Earth from their maps. They knew better now. Earth wasn't unprotected, it was watched, and those who came too close vanished. Empire was quiet now. For the first time in its long, brutal history, it had stopped expanding. Every council meeting began the same way, with silence, and one question no one dared to ask out loud. What is Earth? Not who rules it, not what weapons it has, but what is it really hiding? Because those who got too close didn't come back. Across the stars, old enemies became careful neighbors. Even pirate clans, once brave enough to raid entire systems, now avoided Earth's part of the galaxy completely. They called it the Dead Zone, a cursed place. A silent grave, but rumors spread. One whispered tale told of a species older than Earth's surface itself. They lived beneath it, deep below, in forgotten layers of time. Another claimed Earth had made a deal with ancient machines, gods of war sleeping in the planet's core. Some even believed Earth was no longer a planet, but a trap, whatever. The truth was, no one wanted to test it, but one did. A young commander from the distant Crimson sectors, bold, angry, proud, decided to defy the warnings. He believed the Empire's defeat had been a trick, a fake. He said Earth used fear, not power. So he gathered 5 stealth ships, no weapons, just scouts, silent and invisible. They slipped past borders, past the outer systems, entered Earth's space. Nothing happened. They approached Earth's orbit, still nothing. They dropped probes. Silence. Then, one of the crew members saw it, a single satellite drifting above the planet, old, rusted, barely functioning, but it turned, slowly, unnaturally, toward the stealth ships. A message appeared. No sound, no flash, just words. This is your last moment. The ships disappeared, not destroyed, not tracked, just gone. No data, no distress call, no debris. And Earth, still silent, still calm, still waiting. The Crimson Sector fell into panic. Their leader went missing days later. Found in his command room, eyes wide, repeating the same words the Empire's survivors had once whispered. We were warned. Back on Earth, the people lived normal lives. They worked, laughed, slept, and dreamed. They had no idea what their world truly was. They didn't need to. Because somewhere, deep beneath their feet, the Guardians watched, and the galaxy stayed. Quiet, not because of fear, but because of respect, because the warning had been clear. Come in peace, or don't come at all. The Galactic Empire sent more ships. This time not scouts, but a full strike fleet. Hundreds of war cruisers, heavily armed and confident. They moved fast, jumping through hyperspace toward Earth's sector. The loss of the scout fleet had been dismissed as a malfunction or an asteroid field. The Empire didn't believe in ghosts. Not yet. Commander Varric, leader of the Imperial fleet, stood on the bridge of the warship Iron Maw, eyes locked on the empty space ahead. Earth was close, silent, still without a defense grid. To him, it looked just like the reports, weak and ready for conquest. But then something strange happened. As the fleet passed through the Kuiper Belt, all communication signals were jammed, not just blocked, scrambled, melted into static. The ships tried to connect with each other, but even internal comms began to fail. Engineers reported strange symbols flashing on their screens, symbols no one could read. Is this human tech? Asked the ship's technician, voice shaking. Varric scowled. They're primitives. This must be natural interference. But deep down, something was wrong. The fleet slowed. Radar picked up movement. Not from Earth. From above them. From a place that shouldn't have anything. That's when the first anomaly appeared. A dark shape, bigger than any ship in the Empire, slowly faded into visibility behind Neptune's orbit. It wasn't made of metal. It wasn't glowing or armed. It looked old, like it had been asleep for ages. Its design didn't match any known race, and then it spoke. Every crew member on every ship heard it, inside their heads. You were warned. The voice was not angry. It was calm, cold, like a machine without mercy. Panic spread across the fleet. Several ships tried to retreat, but their engines failed. Power drained like something was feeding on them. Screens went black, lights flickered. One by one, ships lost control. Then came the lights. From the void around the anomaly, hundreds of small vessels appeared, each moving with unnatural speed. They didn't fire weapons. They just touched the Empire's ships. And wherever they touched, ships vanished, gone in seconds. No fire, no debris, just nothing. Commander Varric screamed into his comm, "Fall back! All units! Retreat now!" But the voice returned. No retreat. One by one, the Empire's fleet was erased, until only the Iron Maw remained. Varric stood frozen, watching as the dark shape moved toward his ship. He tried to activate the self-destruct, but the system failed. Every control was locked. A final message appeared on his screen. We don't protect Earth. We guard the warning. And then, darkness. The Empire never heard from the fleet again. News of the Second Fleet's disappearance spread fast. The Galactic Empire, once fearless, was now silent. No one wanted to admit it, but fear had taken root in the High Council. 2 fleets gone, thousands of soldiers, no wreckage, no distress signals, just silence. The Emperor ordered a lockdown on all information, no public news, no records, but it was too late. Whispers traveled across the stars, about Earth, about the Voice, about ships vanishing into nothing. Entire sectors were talking about the Dark Guardian of Earth. Many believed it was just a story, but then the traders started reporting it too. Cargo vessels passing near Earth's solar system sent alerts. They didn't enter the system, just passed nearby, but even they felt it. Cold air inside pressurized cabins. Power flickers, glimpses of black shapes in the void moving without heat signatures. One ship caught a message on an unassigned frequency, a human voice, flat, robotic, do not approach. By now, other alien empires were watching. Earth had always been considered weak, not worth conquest. But now, it seemed protected, not by fleets, not by technology, but by something ancient, something unknown. The Council met in secret. They feared a bigger truth. What if Earth wasn't weak, just hiding? That's when they found an old file, buried deep in the empires. Archives over 600 years old, a message left behind by a former explorer named Thalan Zor. His report had been dismissed long ago, marked as delusional. But now it made too much sense. He wrote about an ancient signal near Earth, a signal that wasn't human, a construct built into space itself, camouflaged in deep orbit. He said it wasn't a weapon, it was a warning beacon, and its last. Recorded phrase, "Earth is a line you do not cross." No one had listened. Now, with 2 fleets gone, the Council began to panic, but pride stopped them from calling it off. The Empire had to show strength. They needed answers, so they prepared. One final attempt. Not a fleet, not diplomats, but spies. They chose 3 of their best covert agents, trained in stealth, survival, and infiltration. Their mission: land on Earth undetected, find out who was behind the disappearances, and report back. They were given cloaked shuttles, silenced comms, and the best cybernetic gear in the Empire. They entered Earth's orbit on a quiet night, and no alarms triggered. It was calm, too calm. They landed in an empty forest, no military, no resistance. Earth looked peaceful, simple, normal. The agents laughed. "This is it?" one whispered. "This is what we feared?" But before the words even left his mouth, the trees moved. Not wind, not machines. The forest itself. All 3 agents vanished from the command feed in 1 second. The Empire tried to recall them. No response. Then a final message arrived on a silent frequency, written in their own imperial language. Last warning ignored. Now, the real consequence begins. The alien empire had watched Earth from afar for many years. Their scanners moved silently through the blackness of space, recording everything. They saw a young species, unorganized and scattered. Earth had no great fleet. Its ships were slow. Its weapons were simple. Its people were divided. The Empire, proud and ancient, laughed at the idea of humans posing any threat. They believed Earth would fall within minutes. So, without warning, they launched their attack. The first wave was small, just a scout fleet of 7 warships, each carrying enough firepower to flatten a city. The Empire didn't think they needed more. Earth's satellites were shut down. In seconds, communications went dark, the skies filled with fire. But something felt wrong. As the ships approached Earth's orbit, their systems began to flicker. Lights dimmed, sensors glitched, and then a message appeared. Not on human channels, but directly inside the alien fleet's main controls. It was not from Earth's government, not from any known human military source. The message was cold, flat, and filled with a presence that didn't feel human at all. It simply said, "Stop now, or vanish." The alien commander, a veteran of over 50 conquests, ignored it. He thought it was a human bluff, just noise to delay the inevitable. He ordered the attack to continue. Earth's cities lit up below, but just before the order could be executed, something happened. One by one, the ships started going silent, not exploding, not shot down, just vanishing from the fleet's internal map. Crews screamed over the comms, strange static, shadows, moving inside sealed doors, entire power systems failing all at once. The flagship's cameras caught a brief image, a shape, dark and massive, hovering just above the clouds. Not human, not alien. It didn't match any known design. It had no visible engines, no weapons. It just existed. Then the camera went black. In the Empire's war room, far away in another galaxy, high-ranking officers stared at the last signal from the fleet. It was a final log from the main ship's AI, translated into Imperial code. Unknown force detected. Requesting immediate extraction. Too late, we were warned. Panic began to grow. The scout fleet was gone. No wreckage, no escape pods, no beacons. It was like they had never existed. The generals demanded answers. Spies were sent. Hackers tried to trace the strange message. But every time they reached too close, their systems fried. Screens turned black. Only the words returned. Stop now, or vanish. Many in the Empire thought Earth had gained help from another civilization. But all records showed that humans were alone. No allies, no treaties, no support. That made things worse. If Earth did this alone, what else were they hiding? The strange part was that Earth never responded. No declaration of war, no threat, no message. The planet just remained quiet, its surface scarred but still turning beneath the stars. Human. Cities continued to shine at night. No great armies moved, no ships left orbit. Yet the Empire's sensors could no longer scan Earth clearly. Static filled the data. Something was blocking them. In the darkness of deep space, a few listening stations picked up strange frequencies, low, ancient signals coming from the edge of the galaxy, bouncing between stars. Some believed it was just background noise. Others said it sounded like a voice, repeating the same phrase again and again in a language older than any known. The Empire's emperor was furious. He demanded a full fleet prepare for war. But a few scientists, those who had studied Earth's old transmissions, begged him to wait. They believed something else was happening, that Earth wasn't responding because it didn't need to. That, maybe, just maybe, someone or something else had already taken control. Somewhere inside the Empire's data archives, an old file resurfaced. A forgotten report from a spy who once lived on Earth before the invasion. He had written one strange thing before vanishing. Humans are not gods, but they keep secrets like one. Back on Earth, life appeared normal. But deep beneath the planet's surface, in places not even the oldest human governments remembered, strange machines began to wake. Their lights turned on for the first time in centuries, and something opened its eyes in the dark. In space, the Empire's generals stared at the empty screens showing where the scout fleet once was. Still no signal. Still no wreckage. Just silence. The same message repeated in their systems one last time, as if from deep within the stars. You were warned, and then nothing. Just black. The Empire had watched Earth for years, deeming it defenseless. They launched an attack only to be met with a mysterious warning. Stop now, or vanish. Their scout fleet disappeared without a trace. Now, the Empire is left in fear, questioning the true power of humanity. For a visual representation of this gripping tale, you might find this video intriguing.